I will not lie to y'all boys. On October 10th, 2012, I was 10 years old watching Family Feud on the CW. And the show that came on after is probably the exact reason I'm the person I am today. If you don't know what that date is, I'll tell you. It's the airing date for the very first episode of Arrow, a TV show that would become my obsession and the reason why I fell in love with superheroes. It would begin what I call TV's MCU, aka the Arrowverse. And contrary to popular belief, we don't have a little bitch in your ear telling you it's bad, the Arrowverse was pretty good. But it did go sour, and when it went sour really fast. Today I'm gonna break down the Arrowverse from its glorious days and now into its last days. My name is Pierre, and today we're getting to the bottom of it and finding out where it all went wrong. Let's get into it.
I say fuck a foot like I want go hit money. Never got look just like Barney, and I live it, you recall.
In 2012, Stephen Amell donned the cowl of billionaire playboy philanthropist with a dark past, with only one goal, to save his city. Equipped with all these weapons that billionaire vigilantes usually get, he became the Green Arrow. Oh wait, y'all didn't think I was gonna say Batman, right? Okay, good, because that's the #1 complaint for Arrow right out of the gate, on day one. And I won't lie to y'all boys, I thought the same exact thing once I was old enough to comprehend what was actually going on. But the same exact time when I first saw it, I was like 10 and just happy the character I saw on Justice League Unlimited was finally on TV. Yes, I know he was on Smallville, but I didn't watch Smallville. Realistically, if I was trapped on an island for 5 years getting tortured and watching everybody I love die, I would probably come back with PTSD and want to kill everything walking too. But I feel like since he's a superhero, that just goes all out the window. And here's how it went for Arrow. Season 1, peak. Season 2, peak. Season 3 was also peak, man. Them boys over there in the CW went on an MJ run from 91 to 93. I will not lie to you. Season 4 was terrible.
Brother, what's that?
And a lot of people thought it was a sign of things to come. But just like that, they turned around and dropped one of the best pieces of superhero seasons I've ever seen. Season 5 of Arrow, Prometheus was one of the best villains in the show. And even though he was nowhere near comic accurate, he had the most order in the whole entire show. If they just made him an original character just for Arrow, we'd be having a different conversation. And I also want to talk about the last 3 seasons of the show. They were a dumpster fire. But before I do that, I need to talk about the most influential show to come out of the CW. Almost 3 years later, the CW would give the Scarlet Speedster his own show, which just ended like 5 months ago, which is insane to think about. This nigga got LeBron James longevity. Barry Allen, the fastest man alive, only when convenient, got a TV show after being backdoor piloted in Arrow for 2 episodes. Before I get into the actual show, I just want to say Grant Gustin is actually the Flash. He's literally the best fit for the role. I didn't know how to feel about Barry not being blonde, but that changed the moment I watched episode 1. James Gunn, I know you've been hinting at it and trying to make it seem like that won't happen. And Grant, I know you've been real picky with your words, Mr. I'm done with the TV show part of it. I think this reunion is bound to happen because Ezra Miller is an actual criminal. Plus, they never really were Barry Allen. As for the Flash movie, it sucked. It was like a 2-pack of ass, terrible. But that's besides the point. The Flash was 3rd on my favorite show list at this network, and I think objectively, I can say The Flash is the best CW show. Seasons 1 to 3, again, were just peak, it's so good. Season 4 and 5, you kind of lost me. And everything after that, I didn't watch until recently. I really had to force myself to watch the rest of the show because CGI was just getting worse and worse, and they were writing the characters into the actual dirt. If The Flash or Arrow stopped after season 5, we'd be having an uncomfortable discussion about Daredevil being the best superhero TV show. When it comes to content, The Flash, phenomenal. Villains, like seriously, Reverse Flash, to Zoom, to Savitar, to The Thinker, Greg Berlanti and them boys was in the lab cooking, I will not lie to you. The characters also had real character development, except for Iris, almost every single season. Unpopular opinion, I liked Supergirl. It was one of those shows that I'm probably gonna have to revisit to see if the hate for it was forced or if the show was just really ass. What started as a show on CBS based on a whole entire different Earth, Supergirl was the first shot at this multiverse TV universe thing for DC. And Melissa Benoist was a really good Supergirl, but she is a character that I'm happy to see that a whole different take on. The show introduces to a lot of cool concepts, like the DEO, Martian Manhunter, Black Jimmy Olsen, and so much more. I don't have a lot to say about this show besides that it was just a Supergirl show. It's probably one of those shows I don't remember, so I'm just gonna move on. Sadly, I do have to talk about the Legends. I love the characters, was indifferent about the concept, was a mix of the Suicide Squad and the Guardian of the Galaxy, but I hate the execution. Here's just some rapid fire things because I could really talk about this for an hour. I miss Firestorm. We get it, Sarah's bisexual. She has to fuck something every episode. Heatwave and Constantine, I guess. On to our next show.
He was black. He said this is for the street. Black Lightning's back.
For our next addition to the Arrowverse, we have my favorite show, Black Lightning. For those of you who don't know what the show is, and never heard of it, it's a lot like shows like Snowfall, Power, and Supercell. And if you like any of those, this is right down your alley. In its early seasons, the show is really based on gang violence and the trenches. We follow Jefferson Pierce, who's a retired superhero turned school principal. And basically, he comes out of retirement to take care of some business, if you know what I mean. This show is really good in my opinion, and there's reasons for that. One, China Anne McClain might be the best actor or actress on this show, and Cress Williams follows her up with a second best performance. Tobias Will is an actual terrorist of a supervillain, and it's an extremely unique concept for a superhero show because they're a family, they're a superhero family. It's also about understanding that sometimes as a superhero you can't save everyone, but you're supposed to go out there and try. And you have to understand that your powers can't stop some things. This show could for sure go on for another 4 seasons if China Anne McClain didn't step away. Now we have Batgirl. This show is a 2-pack ass. Like, actually terrible. From the lackluster story to the inability to keep a cohesive cast, from leaving any type of source material on the table. I generally don't know what good came out of this. Yes, I do. Luke Fox becoming Batwing was pretty cool. But besides that, they should have scrapped the whole show. Before we get any further, I'm gonna kill 2 birds with 1 stone with these 2 shows. Naomi and Stargirl, I wanna bring these up not in any particular order because Stargirl was pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, I wish it did get picked up by HBO Max. And Naomi, it wasn't a bad show, it was just extremely out of place in the Arrowverse. So I don't really have any complaints for these. And I don't really know if we consider these Arrowverse, but like they came out in that time, so I'm just gonna mention them regardless. Now for our next show, Superman and Lois. Man, oh man, where do I even start with this? This show is the exact definition of Chris Paul cuts the lead to 42. The show is phenomenal. Quite literally the only show left from the Arrowverse right now. Superman and Lois is so good. Seeing Superman be a father and trying to balance that and being Superman after moving back to Smallville, chef's kiss. Like everything about the show is really good. It's started way too late. If you plug this show in about 6 years ago, it would be just really elite, but it's still, either way, it's elite and phenomenal. So like, I don't really know what to say besides it's just too late for the show. But if you ask me where I think everything went wrong, I would tell you Arrow Season 6, Flash Season 4, and Legends Season 2. I don't even know why we brought Batgirl in. But if you ask me on a deeper level what went wrong, I would tell you we got older and Greg Berlanti beat a horse till it was dead. One common thing for all the early Arrowverse shows is that most people stopped watching after season 4. But if you go tell them right now, a lot of these shows got 4 or 5 more seasons, they would just look at you and laugh. Earlier I said Daredevil is such a good show, and it's so elite because of how much it accomplished and flowed over in 3 seasons. Arrow, besides season 4, is in the same boat. 4 elite villains, good side characters, and even though it was 24 episodes a season, it will allow you to fall in love with these characters. Flash first 3 seasons are the same exact way. Superhero TV shows don't have to go for 10 seasons. Also, crossover events got stale the moment we had to watch 6 episodes to understand what happened. I think a lot of these shows got so stale because as each season went on, the quality of each episode got worse and worse. Writers made some of the best characters unbearable. And I'm in the minority who likes characters like Felicity and Iris. I also like Felicity when everybody stopped liking her. She was an original character and people were acting like she was never in this, like, their comics. Like, duh, she wasn't. It's like there's no source material to go off of. But she got so unbearable towards the end, I'm not gonna lie. Basically, to sum everything up, I think the Arrowverse, like most TV shows, had its some highs and had some lows. But these shouldn't be enough for you to automatically chop it up as garbage. It's riddled with highs and lows, and plenty of changes to the originals, but not enough to be disgusted with what I'm looking at. It's exactly what I expected from a superhero universe trying to capitalize off what Smallville was. By the way, Smallville is the truth. Some closing thoughts on the Arrowverse with some positives. Stephen Amell is still the Arrow, and I love it. He's got cast in Suits LA, and most of the comments on that video are saying stuff along the lines of, he's gonna tell clients, oh, you failed this case, or telling a client, oh, you failed this city. I'm just happy that's how we all remember him. Grant Gustin, I know you spent 10 years playing in the Flash shoot. I know you said you're done playing the Flash in TV, but deep down inside, man, I got a feeling that you aren't done, and you are indeed gonna get a call to reprise that role. When you first started the role, I genuinely didn't like you as the Flash. I mean, you weren't blonde. And fast forward 13 years, I'm generally so shocked that I enjoyed it as much as I did. Black Lightning was a top 3 show in the Arrowverse. I think a lot of people don't like it because it's woke, but if you just give it a chance, it is really good. And the Arrowverse is just really good in general, but you don't have a little bitch in your ear telling you it's bad. And that's all I have for you guys this week. I hope you guys did enjoy the video. And if you did, hit that like button. If you like hearing me yap about shit like this, hit the subscribe button. And I'll be doing this a lot more. And I know the videos have been inconsistent, but please bear with me. Right now, I'm balancing school, work, a clothing brand, and being a streamer. So sometimes it gets a little tough, and I promise you I'm trying to be better. But that being said, I'm Pierre, and I'll see y'all boys hopefully next week. Stay tuned.